This is Eddyville, Kentucky. We grew up here. Population 1,200 when we were boys. I guess it still is. Eddyville is way down in the southwest corner of Kentucky where Missouri joins Illinois. If you've ever driven from Princeton to Paducah, you've driven right through Eddyville, even if you don't remember seeing it. Aside from homes, Eddyville has a couple of gas stations, an adventure water park, an outlet mall, and a food giant. This country is rich and fertile, plenty of grass and water. Our land is famed with a great network of creeks and lakes. Yes, Eddyville is a right pleasant place to live. Until the sun goes down. We first heard him scream when we were boys. It scared us then, and it scares us now.
There were some scientists trying to figure out the Sasquatch riddle. Then they figured out it was a missing link. In search of Sasquatch, that was a kick. In search of with Leonard Nimoy kicking out the jams. He captured imaginations of people all around the globe. His name was Sasquatch, so I'm told. His legend's ancient in the ancient scribe of the Indian trade. Apache tribe.
Scientists have proven that the Sasquatch is real. Take a look at the plaster cast of his foot, now you know he's real.
Listen real close to the audio tape, not human, now you know he's real. Couldn't be a man in gorilla suit, way, now you know he's real. Real, real.
Just as the native people of our land believe in the existence of a giant ape-like creature, we of Eddyville, Kentucky also believe. It has been said that the Sasquatch is still roaming the creeks. Many people have and still do report sights of seeing a wild man prowling around these woods. By the filming of this documentary, we aren't trying to entertain you. We are merely trying to prove the validity of the Sasquatch legend, and hopefully changing some of you disbelievers' minds.
On several occasions, I have fed the Sasquatch breadcrumbs from my doorstep. In fact, I keep the Sara Lee honey wheat on hand at all times because that appears to be his favorite.
I was shooting in the gym, and out of nowhere, Sasquatch just came in and started rebounding for me. But he stole my ball, and then Adam came in and rebounded for me, but I still didn't have a ball. That's about it.
I looked out my window the other day and I saw Sasquatch, and he was just walking out the back by the pond, and then he dipped down and got some water. It was really big and hairy and creepy. It wasn't pretty.
Sasquatch has been coming and getting my cow. I need somebody to come and get him.
That dang Sasquatch stole our water tower.
The following is the 4 eyewitness accounts of Cam White, Jordan Wadlington, Justin Watson, and Adam Wadlington. This is actual footage that hasn't been modified. What you are about to see is real. If you are frightened easily, viewer discretion is advised.
I was driving, couldn't have been doing more than 10 or 15, that's miles per hour. Went out of the woods and across the road lumbered this huge man, only he was hairy, really hairy. Well, our eyes met and well, next thing I knew he was retreating back into the woods. So I knew that this was that Sasquatch everyone's been so rowdy about. So I got out of my truck and I ran after him. I figured after he killed Josh Patton's 2 prized hogs, there had to be some kind of reward. So I got in there after him, but tripped over a small animal. But when I looked back up, he was gone. But I could feel him watching me. Sasquatch was lucky he got out of my way when he did, because 2 more minutes and Eddyville wouldn't have much of a Sasquatch problem anymore.
I was sitting downstairs minding my own business playing the Nintendo when I heard something suspicious outside. I didn't think much of it at first until it sounded like someone was trying to rip the doorknob off the door. Well, that didn't sit right with me. I figured pretty much most of my kinfolk knew how to work the doorknob. So I put down the controller and I got up to take a peek at what all that ruckus was going on back there. I turned the corner, and not 2 feet in front of me was that there Sasquatch. I scared it first, but kind of looked at it, and it kind of looked at me, and it just kind of quietly slipped out the door. That was the last time I saw that Sasquatch. I know some people don't believe in that Sasquatch, but as for me and mine, well, we keep our doors locked.
Just didn't look like anything I'd ever seen. Thought at first might be some kind of wild man. Couldn't tell with all that hair just what it was. I changed the rocks I had, small rocks to bigger rocks. Well, for my protection more than anything else. I knew I could have knocked it down easy, but I just kept thinking, what if it's a man? Well, screw that.
I know I saw a Sasquatch. Just look at this rock. Come on, look at it. Look at it. It epitomates the Sasquatch legend. Look at it. 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 Look at it.
Well, here back a couple months ago, I was on a Cub Scout hiking trip. I'm one of the male counselors who try to teach the boys the ways of the wolf. Well, we were down in Eddyville Creek, the spot of most of our camping excursions, just walking around, you know how boys and disgruntled adults do. Anywho, I looked up and noticed that the boys are gone. So instead of worrying about their safety and all, I went down to the creek to fetch some water. Well, since I was alone, naturally I just dropped my drawers and started taking a crap right there in the river. Then, I heard above my head some kind of rustling in the bush. And there stood above me, well heck, I don't know what it was, some type of gorilla man. He let out a blood-curdling scream, and I started flopping around with my pants half down like last night's dinner before I ran over it a second time. As I stared up at him, and he stared down at me, we had this connection, this mutinous understanding. For some reason, by his eyes, I knew he had taken craps in this very creek, just like me. He gradually slipped back away, like a Sasquatch into the night. And for that brief moment, when we were gazing into each other's eyes, I knew that his legend and his love were real.
I know many of you are sitting in your seats, shaking your head in disbelief, not believing this epic story that has unfolded before your eyes. Maybe some of you don't want to believe. But if you ever take a trip down to Eddyville, Kentucky, and you happen to drive by Eddyville Creek, don't be surprised if you hear his lonely growl, or even catch a glimpse of his shadowy mystique sifting through the mist. Folks, he's out there, and never forget the events that occurred at Eddyville Creek.
We know your legends.